Welcome back to the KDKA Morning Show. Did you ever think you'd like to write a book? Lots of people do. Lots of people are intimidated by the process, though, so they never really get started. Well, Loriann Hoff Oberlin is here with us this morning. She says that you can do it. Really, anybody can do it. And this is her new book. It's called Writing for Quick Cash, Turn Your Way with Words into Real Money. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
You're a Pittsburgh native.
I am.
And she was just telling me she interned at KDKA, so we have another connection
I'm
here.
dating myself, but it was many years ago, but yes, I did.
And this is not your first book by any means?
No, it's my 7th book, actually. It is kind of a updated version of a book I did 10 years ago called Writing for Money, but this is kind of a book for the new century, so it has a lot more material.
I got to look at a lot of it, and I like the way that it's broken down for everybody. You say, first of all, some real practical advice. Everybody should just write about what they know.
Absolutely, absolutely. So many times when I teach aspiring writers, I tell them, start with what you know. Even if you want to write something out on the periphery, you want to write about your vacation travels or something, start with what you know, because that's what is going to help you to get published. And every writer has to have those clips, those published pieces that are proof that an editor has bought your work. And so that's your stepping stone, and then you can start to branch off into those creative areas you want to tackle.
And you give some ideas to that. People might think, well, what do I know? I don't really have anything that I know, but you say if you go on vacation someplace.
Everybody has something that they do better than somebody else, and that's a key point here. I have had people who take my workshops who are MDs, PhDs, attorneys, the school lunch aide, one time a baker from Giant Eagle, and some people will say, gee, maybe I don't belong here, maybe I don't have the ideas. And I say, do you realize that there are editors for women's magazines, for parenting magazines, who are dying for those tips? Busy moms like us who need that idea that we grab somewhere and say, oh, I'm going to use this for my child's birthday party.
Right.
And so editors will pay you for that. And if that's your skill, if that's your talent, write about it, go with it.
And again, like you said, especially for busy moms, this is the kind of thing you can do from home, so it works for a lot of people.
Especially right now, we're all kind of housebound. A lot of people are on their computers for, lack of a better word, entertainment. Here's a way that you can take a hobby and a passion, perhaps, for writing and turn it into some additional income.
And speaking of computers, as far as getting your work then into a format, I know I'm jumping over a lot of things here, but that's an intimidating part of the process. You talk about a lot of software that's out there right now.
The book, I think, is just jam-packed with a lot of practical advice for writers. It will step you through the how-tos of writing. I have a couple of introductory chapters, including, how to write like a journalist if you've never taken Journalism 101. And then it tells you some of the business nuts and bolts of how to pitch an idea to an editor, because it's entirely different to pitch a short idea for a magazine, a longer length feature for a publication, and then even a greeting card or a book proposal. And then some of the things we're not even touching on hold messages, puzzles and brain teasers, online markets and websites and newsletters and business and technical writing, and just the gamut of dozens and dozens of ways you can make money through writing.
You're making it sound very easy, but it's
not always easy. No, it really is not.
Pitch,
but it can be easy, again, if you start with what you know. If that's what your talent is, it's going to come a little bit easier to you. So the analogy that I use is if you have 5 hours in a week, each hour of the day, assuming you give yourself the weekend off, you could be sending short pieces out to different editors and various publications. By the end of the week, you've increased your chances of acceptance dramatically over the writer who is maybe working on that great American novel. It's not to say that you shouldn't do that. It's great to have that goal, but if you really want to get published and you want that bank account boost and the boost to your self-esteem, that check does validate you. The
other thing that you talk about in here is bank account boost is a good way to put it, but this isn't like you're going to win the lottery. Don't expect that.
No, it's not. Sure, there are six-figure writers out there, and it really does depend. If you want to focus on a certain area, business, scientific, technical, medical type writing, you may have a shot at that, you know, six-figure ring out there. If you want to do some of these other projects, you're not going to make a ton of money, especially right away, but you will increase. And, you know, some of my students have gone on to publish books with reputable commercial publishers.
And that must make you feel great.
It makes me feel wonderful. One of them was just released this month.
What's the one thing that you would tell people if they wanted to get started today? If they've been thinking about this and they're watching this segment thinking, yes, I want to hear from her.
Well, I think you should check out the book. I have a website, which is www.loriannoberlin.com, or you could type in the words "writing for quick cash" into a search engine. The book and the online seminar that I've developed to go with it are certainly good ways to start out, get some information, surround yourself with the right resources, join some writers groups, go to your local bookstore, especially, you know, you want a reason to get out of doors. A lot of the bookstores in the area do have writing support groups, and so that's a pivotal part, is to get that support.
So you're there to hold people's hands.
Kind of, yeah.
The book that you talked about, is that the Frantic Woman's Guide? Is that the one we had them
she
on
was
earlier?
just on here last week.
So
Mary Jo was a student of mine.
Another connection. Thank you so much for coming on. It's a great book, great ideas.
Thank you.